All right, well, God bless everybody. Today, the main topic is we're going into the week of pretty soon to Easter time. And I'm going to share three points today. And the first one's going to be Jesus's growing checklist. Now, the events stack up so fast over the final few days of Jesus' life that it's hard to keep them all straight. Even YouTube would be overwhelmed by the massive amount of content. The amazing writer, thinker, friend of Jesus and prophet, the Apostle John reflected, quote, "There are so many other things that Jesus said and did, and if these accounts were also written down, the books could not be contained in the entire cosmos." Now he would know. He wrote the Gospel of John, he penned 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Johns, and he wrote the ever-elusive and mind-blowing book of Revelation. Did you know that John saw himself and Jesus and what we would look like in the future? I think my mind just blew a little bit. Jesus did so many things so fast that it took 4 writers to capture the necessary events of Jesus' life and ministry. It took 4 camera angles, if you will, 4 perspectives, 4 specific assignments to pen down the highlights of Jesus' life. Imagine trying to keep up with the busiest, smartest, sharpest, most focused, most active, most talkative, most loved and most hated, most misunderstood, and most enlightened man who ever walked the earth. Many of us, if we saw or did just 1 or 2 of the miraculous things that Jesus did, it might just be enough for us. We would have months of Facebook content. We would blow up on Instagram. We'd be trending on Twitter. We may even get a talk show or buy a special tattoo to commemorate, sew a merit badge onto our sash, or would pin another shiny ribbon above our heart. Jesus was a busy guy, and he's still a busy guy. 4 men walking by incredible, vivid revelation could barely keep up with his loving exploits. Jesus never stopped growing, just like nothing in nature and nothing in the universe ever stops growing. Jesus' checklist. And here's a partial list of the things Jesus realized he was supposed to get done. This is his to-do list. First one. He was to be the long-awaited Messiah, and that he would go toe-to-toe with the devil more than one time and in more than one millennia, and that he would eventually crush the head of our great enemy. Genesis 3:15. Next one. He knew that he was miraculously conceived by a young virgin, Isaiah 7:14, and would be born in Bethlehem, Micah 5:2. He was going to become a prophet like Moses, Deuteronomy 18:15. Now that's some big boots to fill. Next, he knew that he would be betrayed by a friend for 30 pieces of silver, Zechariah 11:12 and Psalm 41:9. He knew that he would be beaten beyond recognition for speaking the truth, Isaiah 52:14. He knew he was going to be despised, rejected, beat, stabbed, whipped for our mistakes and beat for our wrongdoings, Isaiah 53:5. He saw himself through the eyes of David, beaten, humiliated. He heard the mocking, saw the lowly guards fighting over his possessions, his clothes. He saw himself bleed out while staked on a tree, Psalm 22. He was going to ride to Jerusalem on a donkey and again on a colt. He would bring salvation to the world, would win the ultimate war, would have true dominion from sea to shining sea and even to the ends of the earth, Zechariah 9:9 and 10. He fully knew he would have to die a horrible death, and he knew that he would rise from the dead 3 days and 3 nights after he was buried, and that he would never die again. He bet his life on it, Psalm 16:10, and again Matthew 12:40. He will be seated in the best seat in the house at the right hand of God, Psalm 110, verse 1. Now, one of the unchecked boxes, those are all checked off. One of the unchecked box, he even knows one day that he will need to come back and gather up his people, us. And he knows that he will appear that he's going to appear in the clouds of heaven, and from that point on, he will have everlasting dominion with us. Daniel 7:13 through 14. Now that's quite a to-do list for a young man. That's an amazing checklist. Jesus is still hard at work on that list, working to bring it to pass. Jesus is still working, and Jesus is still growing. We too have a checklist to complete that's just as clear and as well defined as Jesus's, but that's a whole nother set of teachings. Today, we're going to focus on the life and the growth of Jesus Christ.